don't even know why. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Political Tuesday with Tea Time with Bunky. I don't know why I chose Alice. I don't know what that song just came to me at the last minute. I was just rocking to it. I was like, okay, I'll play this song. I would like to do my thank yous to all of my Tea Time with Bunky subscribers. Thank you for being there from the beginning, my new subscribers. Make sure you tell a friend. You can always view after the show. Make sure you comment, interact, dialogue, have a conversation, like, share, subscribe, follow on Facebook and YouTube. You could find me also on TikTok, Bunky Bunk, Bunky, Bunk, for a little humor to take you off of, when you're really serious. A special thank you to all of my fellow podcasters. Thank you for all of the support. I appreciate you. I have one announcement, well, like advertisement kind of. A special shout out to J&J Grocery /Deli located on 386 Broadway, Monticello, where you can get the bomb sandwiches. I just want to let you know, you get one, you're going back. On Fridays, there are special lunch menus, so you can check in and see. I mean, filling meals, amazing. This week, they're having the specials for a baby shower. This week until Saturday, you can purchase all Pampers, any size from 25 to 60 count for $5. That's all Pampers, which that seemed kind of cheap to me. My baby's 27. They were higher than that then. And all wipes, family size, are $3. But if you buy 3 packages of wipes, you can get a 4th package free. And that's only for the wipes. And make sure you tell the store owner to get entered into this little drawing for this baby shower. The code is baby shower. So give them your name and the code baby shower, and you'll be entered into this drawing. So without further ado, I have my special guest. Wait, let me take this all. Monticello Mayor. He's sitting there waiting patiently. I appreciate it. I got all these new things going on. George Nikcolados, hi.
How you doing?
Good. Let me see. Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We have another co-host, Rashad. He's running a little late. Let me get your stuff up there. He's running a little late, but he'll be here. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I don't know why I can't hear you in my ears. So when people come on, but I hear you in this. You became elected in September of 2020.
Yes.
2020. So it's been like a year, almost like a year and a half.
Almost.
Okay.
Close enough.
All right. So
feels like 10. Don't worry.
Oh, so you've been in there a little longer.
It aged me 10 years, although it went by real fast, but it aged me 10 years probably.
Oh, it probably did. It did. I'm sure. Tell the people a little bit about you.
Sure. So my name is George Nikcolados with no C in it. You spelled it wrong. just the K.
Oh,
I moved up here from Brooklyn when I was 9 years old to Mountaindale. Grew up in, went to school at Fallsburg. My parents owned the Miss Monticello Diner since 1991. So I basically grew up in Mountaindale and in Monticello, spending my afternoons there at the diner. I went to college in Binghamton. I came back. I worked at the diner for a little while, opened up my own restaurant. And then in 2008, when we had the first economic crisis, I got out of that and moved to Dubai for a little while, did some work for my friend who was a Department of Defense contractor. Started a limousine company there for a major hotel chain, and then came back, went back to the family business. And then in 2016, I was elected as a trustee to the village board, and been there ever since.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you what made you get into politics, but yeah, when I saw you
at the time in 2016, there was a lot of exciting things slowly starting to go on, and it was also, Monticello was at the edge right there. Broadway was empty, and I figured, you can't complain about things and hope everyone else is going to fix for you. Sometimes you just got to do it yourself. So that's what made me get involved in 2016.
Yes. You're right. You got to be a part of the change to make the change. You got to get in. Were you afraid to do it at first? Like, was it scary?
Absolutely. Number one, I usually wouldn't like to get involved in this. I like to fly under the radar, not be controversial. I own a business, so I don't like to make enemies. You don't want to have, that sort of thing going on. And then, when I first started running, I was out getting signatures. One of the sitting trustees at the time, still sitting, called my mother and kind of gave her an attitude and threatened her a little bit. And I guess that kind of galvanized my entire family to pull this through and make sure we got on the board and make sure that, we got some reasonable people on the board to help, the people that were there make some changes in the positive direction.
They threatened your mother?
Yeah, calling and then saying your son lives in a shack behind the diner and he's a drug dealer, all kinds of random stuff. I'm not going to mention names, but they're still around.
Yeah, it's not even, it's not worth it. People are, people are horrible. That's what I'm learning.
Well, it's unfortunately why we have so little turnout in voting, and even worse, more people want to get involved in politics in Monticello because it's why would someone want to put their family through that? It gets nasty. People are mean. They get personal. We should all have one goal when it comes to whatever place you're running for is to improve it, to make it better for the residents. And so I can't see how that should be so adversarial between, people on boards.
And this apparently it's not just Monticello. It's everywhere.
No.
Right. It's just real. Yeah, you're right. It makes you not want to get involved because people, as I'm watching, they will create scenarios in their head and run with it like it's the truth and defend it to the end. And it's pretty ugly. Okay. Since getting into office, when you first went into office, let's start from the beginning. Like, what were some of the main targets, goals you wanted to hit, things you wanted to fix when you first got in office?
Well, the first thing, and it's the most important thing, and it's unfortunate to say it but everything else hinges on it, is our budget. The village has a $700,000 yearly budget deficit when I came in. So that means this is what we're collecting in taxes, and we're spending $700,000 over it. So that's my main priority, because if we don't get that straightened out, there goes the village, there goes the police department, there goes everything. So my first priority, it's an unfortunate, nobody wants to talk about numbers, it's not sexy, but it's to balance that budget. You can't, the only way to really make money is to raise taxes. And we're at the point where we can't raise taxes anymore. They're really high. We are at our constitutional tax limit, so we couldn't raise taxes. So you have to find other creative ways to try to balance this budget. So luckily, through the funds that we received from the federal government, which covered about half of our thing, I've been able to close the budget for the next 2 years, but I'm still making sure that down in the future it goes forward, that we're able to do that, because with that gets more police officers with better training and better equipment to get the job done. We're short quite a few officers right now. And, the other thing was the parks. Our parks are extremely important. Our youth are extremely important. And I really wanted to put a lot of time into preparing our parks, making our parks have the amenities that our community needs and uses, and so that's been my main goal that I've been working on. And youth activities. I know, unfortunately, the last 2 years have been real tough with the pandemic. And so access to facilities and that sort of thing have been real tough. I know an ongoing theme in the village is this youth center, but a youth center is just a building. You need the people behind it. You need the ideas. You need people that are going to put themselves out there for free to make a place like a youth center work. When you don't have money to even build a youth center, you're definitely going to have not money to staff it. In Monticello, before the pandemic hit, the school and Cornell, these other organizations had the hub set up in Monticello at St. John Street School. That had after school programming, 5 days a week for kids where they can go there, they can play video games, they can just hang out in a room, watch movies, play basketball, do art, get tutoring for help. That right there is the start of a youth center to me. And instead of going out and building another building that would do the same exact thing, right now we're working with the school so the village can take over their gym so we can run that gym every day after school and on the weekends. And upstairs, the hub will have the programming they had before. And right there, it's a place where kids are already going after school and you have them there. That would be your de facto youth center.
Yeah, we talked about that before about, like why not utilize the space that you have already than creating something new. But there was a good question.
In the community.
Right, it does. But he asked a good question, like how does the village get over $700K in a budget? Like how does that happen? Is it
listen, that a lot of that, I don't want to blame the previous mayor or the previous before that. There is, what happened for a long time here is the houses got dilapidated. The value of the houses went down. People started lowering the assessments. So we brought in less taxes in. Buildings were also taken down. We're bringing in less tax. There was no way to bring more money in, but we were losing the value of our tax base. So that was shrinking as well. There has been missed opportunities when the casino came in, how the town and the county and everyone else, Orange County, Delaware County is getting money, but the village missed out on that train somehow by that administration. But all the other opportunities that we've missed, to make money, which, I'm working on. I've had some innovative ways to bring in some new taxes. Excuse me?
I said you just got in. So even though it's been a little over a year, how long are you in position for?
4 years.
We just got in. Nothing.
Right, but government takes a long time.
Yes.
It works real slow, unfortunately. And we do have a lot of things coming on. We do have a lot of stuff going on in the park. We built a new pavilion last year. We are working on building a splash pad and a basketball court this summer. We're putting in a new athletic field to play soccer and football. A lot of stuff going on. Excuse me?
Where is it?
The Hoyas Park in the village of Monticello.
Oh, the Hoyas. Okay.
Yeah. So that's been my main focus. We bought a couple of lots that are attached to it to expand the size of the park. So that's been my main focus, is to put our money to a resource that we have. It's a beautiful place. It's in the center. It's in walking distance of a lot of the apartment complexes. We're building trails through the apartment complexes so kids can stay off the street and go there through the woods on a trail so that, it's a lot safer and, more walking trails and have healthier outcomes here in the community.
Yeah, I like that. Like the Hurleyville Trail here.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's really good. That's really good. Now, do you feel the support from your board members, or is there a lot of
some of them?
I don't know. I don't know.
For certain things, like when I say, for certain things, everyone will support it. Some things get controversial, and there is like a factions and things split up. Some people would just go against me because it's me. No matter what idea it is, I can. That's what happens in politics, unfortunately. Whether it's because of a party or because of a different political faction, minus parties, whatever it is, it happens, unfortunately, and it's sometimes to the detriment of the community. I luckily have some board members who do support me. They see my vision and they want to help move that forward. And I will say I do have a lot of support now from the town of Thompson, Sullivan County. When I first came on the board, we didn't have a relationship at all with these other municipalities. I have the town of Thompson has been helping us greatly. They've been doing our grant administration for us. They've been putting actual dollars into the park. helping us with a lot of things. The county's been great. The planning department at the county is great. The new legislature has been working with us as well. And I think a lot of that's because we've reached out to them. We have a relationship. Not everything is you versus me. And we're looking to do some things together that's going to help the community.
Yeah, because you can't have that mindset of us against them in order to be successful and build the Monticello, I guess that your vision is. Because you were out there. That's kind of when I kind of got to know names of everybody during the different rallies during the Black Lives Matter thing. So thank you for being there, because I saw you several times. Thank you for the support. But now, do you feel as if you still have support of the community, the people that were out there in the beginning? Are they still supporting you, or
some? Yes, I would say the majority of the people that I would march with. Yeah, I believe so. I can't speak for other people. I think my ideals are still the same as they were then. When people have come to me, for help or support, I would stand up for them the same exact way. Unfortunately, there's rumors about what went down and what goes around. And,
there's always rumors.
So,
there's going to be a rumor about everything. I mean,
but yeah, no, absolutely. I would do that again any minute, anytime right now. It's the same way I would do it now for the people of Ukraine or anybody in this world. We're all human beings. We all deserve the right to live our lives and try to make our lives better for our children and live in happiness. And so, we've had some problems in this country, and a lot of people like to put them under the rug, but I think they have to be brought out and have to be seen, and
especially since they still exist.
Absolutely.
There's another question. Like, these are Rashad's questions. He's trying to get on. Well, not here, but he asked a question about the budget. Now, you've only been in for a year and some change, and you have this large deficit, this large $700,000. Is there a plan to bring that in and draw it down to minimal? It's going to be hard in your first 4 years. That we know that.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I will say it's none of my doing, maybe a tiny bit, but mostly it just happens to be the climate. Some of the positive things from the pandemic is, the people that are moving up here, new home construction, and that's the only way to really close that deficit is to bring more money in. You only do that through taxes. Since we can't or we won't raise taxes because they're already ridiculous here in the village. New building is the only way. So right now we have single family homes being built in the village for the first time in 12 years. We had two houses built in the last 20 years in the village, single family homes. We got 10 buildings built up right now. We have 187 1 and 2 bedroom townhouses being built on West Broadway. We have a lot of growth actually going on in the village. Some affordable housing that's in the process right now. That's going to be on the old hospital in Monticello Manor, and also
let me ask you about this affordable housing. Now, is this affordable housing for people who live here, or let me reword this, that have always lived here? Let's say me, okay? Not a large income.
Yeah.
And you're looking around and you're seeing all these developments going.
It's exactly what it's for. It's for work for housing for the people that live here who are working in our casino, all these new places. People got good jobs and they couldn't go anywhere else. There was nowhere else for them to move. They had an improvement in their salary and their lives, to whether it was Bethel or the casino, Cartwright or whatever.
Right.
And now they need better housing also. So that's what the plan is. Hopefully that people who are living in our housing complexes now will be able to move into these places, and then the other places are going to have to fix their places to compete. And so that's the hope. At the same time, the tax base is going to be growing, and with no raise to everyone else that's already in the village paying, a high tax, we're going to start to expand that. Every house at these costs, the house goes on, the assessed value goes on what it costs to build these houses. These houses are costing $250,000, $300,000 houses to build with these prices today. So we're looking about a $13,000 a year tax bill, $6,500, $7,000 going to the village. So every 10 houses is $60,000. I got 100,000. There goes my whole 100 houses. There goes my whole gap. So that's not going to happen. But you build 20 new houses, 30 new houses over the next 5 years, and with the apartment complexes coming in, also the improvements that are going on along Broadway. We got about 10, 11 buildings in Broadway under renovation. Every single one of those buildings now, their tax assessment is going to go back up. That building was worth $80,000. Now it's going to be worth $500,000. So we're going to be collecting a lot more taxes on those. So that's one of the ways that I'll try to cut, to get the budget gap. Another one is I just came up with a very innovative plan. The village supplies water to outside users, people outside the village. Walmart happens to be one of them. For the last 20 years, they've been receiving the fire flow from the village, which runs their sprinkler system. It's a high pressure system that only the village had enough capacity to offer to them. When their contract ran up recently, I said to myself, this is a finite resource that we don't have a lot of. It's a resource of the people in the village. Mm-hmm. And people in the village actually have a demand for it right now. And so in order for Walmart to keep this service, we're going to have to work out a deal. Before they were paying us $25,000 a year that went into my water fund. I just got an additional $150,000 a year out of them to use for them. And
they can afford it.
Moving forward, correct. Absolutely correct. And that's something maybe the village should have been getting the whole entire time this last 20 years. I'm going to be in this problem, but I wasn't there then, but I'm here now. And one of the things I fixed. I hope that plan will spread out to all our other outside water users, whether residential or commercial. And that right there, we're not going to get $175,000 out of everyone else like we did at a Walmart. Right. But right there is a way, an innovative way no one has ever thought of before to close this gap with, again, not having to raise taxes on everyone else right now who's been overtaxed for all these years.
So they've been getting over. Walmart has been getting over.
Well, that was old fighting between the town and the village, and what Walmart was going to be, Town of Thompson Walmart or Village of Monticello Walmart, and
that's crazy.
The people in the village got hurt in the long run, so that's something I've tried to remedy, and we have.
But I commend you on that. That's good. I don't know why that wasn't done before. That's crazy. Walmart.
That's the thing about getting fresh people in here. You get fresh ideas,
right?
And that's what it is. Instead of recycling the same people over and over again, you get newer ideas. A younger generation comes in. It's different. We grow up with a different. I grew up. I'm old enough where I grew up pre-internet and pre-technology, but I saw that through my lifetime. So, the kids I'm 40, kids 10, 15 years younger than me are more advanced than I am. They learn these computer things, in third, fourth grade, and we were learning when I was 25. So they're going to have fresher ideas too. So it comes back to the same problem of, people don't want to get involved. It gets too personal, especially in the village. It gets very nasty. And why put yourself through all that stress for $6,000 or, the mayor gets $10,000 a year, contrary to what was said in past. But,
so mayor only gets $10,000 for all of that headache.
$10,000
for all of the drama.
Well, listen, we have a manager form of government, and what that is we have 5 people, the mayor and the 5 trustees. The mayor doesn't have any more power than they do, except for some appointments that he can make, and most of the important ones have to be approved by at least 3 members of the board, including the mayor. So the mayor doesn't have really that much power. The manager runs the day-to-day operations. That form of government is what we've had, but unfortunately, due to the budget crisis, we haven't had a manager in quite some years now. The manager, the previous one, was making $80,000 a year, and with his benefit package, it was probably about $110,000 with insurance, vacation days, all that stuff. About $110,000. I'm currently being paid $35,000 a year with no benefits to do the manager's job. So
with that, you add the 2 salaries on those, so that's
$45,000 for the stress of 2 jobs to run a $12 million budget.
That's still a lot of headache. That's still be like it's really not worth all the drama I'm going through. You could walk away.
It costs more to replace myself at work than it is the money I get paid to do this. But I live here. I just bought a house here 2 years ago. I'm invested. I got 28 years left on my mortgage. I want to be here. I want my kid to grow up here. I have a 7-month-old kid. I'm invested for the area. My business has been here 30 years. I plan to be here another 30. So I'm invested in the area, and I figured I got to do it. I got to be involved myself and able to get things done.
Yeah, to set an example for your son. Now, let me ask you about Broadway. Broadway is beautiful. I love Broadway. Growing up now, almost 52 years, I've seen Broadway change, right? Like when the stores were up and thriving and the buildings, there was a lot of hustle and bustle, a lot going on. And like, it's really sad to see a lot of the empty storefronts. So are most of those under renovation, or Are they going to just sit there? Because it's really, there's so much you can probably do with those. They're beautiful. It's a beautiful street. It really is. Like,
Well, see, for a long time, a lot of those buildings were held on by developers who had other properties making money, and they were using them as tax write-offs. And because it was just more worth it to them just to have as a tax write-off than to put in the money to get it fixed. One of the first things when I was elected in 2016 and I ran on in 2016 was to make sure that the village became a historical district. That finally happened in 2019. That allows for people to apply for grants to fix these buildings and get 40% of that money back that they put into that building. And so that's one of the main reasons that you see these buildings now being renovated. You know, in the last year and a half, there's been 8 new businesses that have opened on Broadway and 16 apartments. And then in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have another 22 apartments on Broadway getting their COs and opening up. The one block,
I saw the for rent signs. I was like, okay, you know, they're
and you know, residential drives retail. The more people you have above the stores, the more people you have in the village, they're going to be able to support those businesses that are downstairs. You know, it is real tough, you know, having storefront, other than, you know, the restaurant business, it's tough, you know, with Amazon, Walmart, those types of places, unless you're, you know, a lawyer or you're doing taxes, cutting hair, or serving food, it is tough in this market anywhere to open business. So we're hoping, you know, with these tax incentives, with people having the money to, now they see that. And before 2016, you couldn't even rent the buildings upstairs. You couldn't have apartments upstairs, just offices. So all these buildings got into disrepair because there was no money going into the building. Either if you didn't have a storefront, that was the only thing that supported your building, because you couldn't live upstairs. You couldn't, you know, rent it upstairs. You only had, who's going to have an office upstairs, you know, with no elevator this day and age, you know. So that's why, so switching that in 2015, and that was before I got on the board, that having that mindset to get people back onto Broadway, I think has been a major change. So it's only been, you know, 6 years since that's happened and got into effect. But in that time, we've seen, you know, 6 buildings totally renovated. 2 have applications in now for the, like I said, the affordable housing to do those. The old Napoli building, that one's going to have 16 apartments above it. The old T-Bank building will have apartments as well. And that whole block is almost done. And then, you know, with around the corner, the old Mason building was just bought and is being renovated by the gentleman that's opening the art gallery, which I'm really excited about, actually. He's an artist from Mexico. He's got galleries in Berlin, Barcelona, New York City, Mexico City, and in Oaxaca, Mexico. And he's opening one here in Monticello with a nice, it's going to be a nice little restaurant right next door to it in the gallery. And in the back is going to be his workshop. That's at the old Miller Automatic building in Monticello. And so that's going to be a major thing. I think, and he bought the other building on Bank Street and is going to invest in that. And he's going to have programming with the school to bring kids in as like a foundation to do art with local kids. And I think that's going to be a bring change. It's going to be bringing a lot of different people to the village.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds exciting. Sounds like good stuff. I'd like to welcome Rashad, DJ Rashad. You know Rashad.
What's up,
yeah, I'm sure y'all.
What up? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good.
I had it very light up until now.
Nah, man. Listen.
No.
You doing? Yo, listen. It's funny because I was watching it in the car, and me and my wife were watching it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get up in here. And she was like, I like him though, and I'm like, nah, I like him too. You know, he's doing good.
Fine.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, this is why we are here. You know, it's super dope. I don't work in Monticello right now. That will be changing real soon. So I like Monticello. I like the way Monticello is looking. I like the direction. I like what I heard so far. You know, The one thing that killed me though was, yo, $700K. Like, yo, that's like unbelievable. And why? Who are the people that are responsible for this?
Listen, to be honest, other than like missed opportunities, there really hasn't been much waste in spending. And I'll go back even 20 years. The problem is like the mindset is you have, for years, people wouldn't raise taxes, you know, then 2 years later, you know, if you go 3 years and raise it 1%, you know, a gradual increase of 1% your expenses are going up 10% and you're not taking in a little more income, it got to the point there where it kept on getting deeper and deeper. And by the time I got in, that was almost all gone. There was $100,000 left out of $1 million. If your expenses are going up, your insurance, your salaries, every expense that, a person at home has, fuel, those sort of things go up at a rate higher than your taxes go up. And you don't have a plan to expand your tax base to help to find a way to make people fix their places, to bring businesses in, to do something like that. It just gets away from you. And listen, we're a poor community. We can't cut our police department. Our police department is already, bare bones. Our highway department has the minimum amount of people. The same thing with water and sewer. And luckily, we're getting a good job done. But to be honest, no one's really to blame for that. Stuff got dilapidated. People went and got their assessments lowered on their houses. As stuff got started to go into disrepair. So we started bringing less tax money in. So the divide got greater. I don't really want to blame anyone because it really isn't their fault. It still would have been maybe not 700,000. Little stuff on the margins would have made it a little different. But when the casino came in, not getting any money out of the casino really hurt us. The town gets $1 million. The county gets plus $1 million plus. County gets $1 million plus. Orange County gets $1 million plus. Delaware County gets $1 million plus. Ulster County gets $1 million plus. We're right next door. We get zip. We get nothing. We get a lot of the extra crime from the casino. We got a lot of the extra drug abuse from the casino that we are dealing with.
Was that worked in the deal though? Like when that whole thing went down, nobody like that. Whoever the government that was involved or whatever that was in place, they were just like okay with all this, like because
they were busy doing their own thing. I guess they were busy
okay.
And the thing is, nobody wanted to deal with it at that point. We were a national embarrassment at that point in time. We were news bad. Then you see the stats about our crimes. You see stuff going on with individuals on the board, and nobody wanted to work with us. The state was scared of us. The town didn't want to work. Everyone was scared you get into a meeting and someone's going to curse you out or call you a name in the middle of a meeting. It just didn't want to work. And maybe that's not right either fair to the people. But listen, you catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. And sometimes for the good of your village, you got to humble yourself and go out there and go, put your tail between your legs and beg a little bit. I've done that, and I've been able to get thousands upon thousands of dollars from the town to help us in the park. The village is in the town. When you get that point across to everyone and say, listen, people who are in the village are also, we vote in the town. We're town of Thompson residents. You should do whatever you can to help us too. And that message has been heard. And we've had a lot of cooperation now from the town. And obviously Aileen Gunther's always been great. And even our new Senator Mike Martucci has been great. But, you got to reach out to people and get that help to come in, because no one's going to help you. They're going to help themselves first before they help you. And if you're too busy fighting each other, why are they going to bother with you?
Now, that's a good question to ask. Being the mayor, do you reach out? Because hearing that, everything you just said, that's really an ugly look. That's not a good look for the village. There's no reason why Monticello was cut out of the deal with the casino. I think the thing with the Walmart is ridiculous. So how do you, being the mayor, coming in now, do you reach out to these other entities? Like who does that?
I have. I mean, the other elected officials, through the town and the county, at the state, and even at Congress. I have a great relationship with our Congressman, Antonio Delgado. I've met, hopefully, our future Congressman, Mondaire Jones. You have to have these relationships. When we had a Republican Congressman before, John Faso, I work with him too. I'm going to work with anybody that brings a benefit to the village. Whether they're Republican, whether they're the Green Party, I don't care.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
especially at the village level, the party shouldn't matter at all.
My thing is, all right. So it seems like if the village is being stopped by the town, why have a village? Like, you guys have it come, like, why is it there like a joint thing? Like,
you're right.
like because so I mean, so what's the problem? Like, I don't I'm
mean, you're right. That question's been thrown out for a long time, and a lot of village residents will tell you their extra village tax that they pay, it's not worth it. They're not getting, anything for it. But what you do get is, a police department. First off, we get rid of the village, we lose our police department. Town of Thompson doesn't have police, so that's the major thing, and that's the one thing I don't think we could be without. It's the urban center of Sullivan County. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crime here, and a lot of the crime doesn't happen because of people from Monticello. They're coming from other areas. They go into a drug rehab. All of a sudden, they get dumped into a hotel in Monticello. A lot of our crime comes from there. You know, you see a lot of these people walking up and down the streets. They're not village residents, but they are now. And that's, you know, from outside influence. So I've been working with the county on that to make sure we know where they're placing people, not placing them into a hotel, coming out of rehab where it's going to be drug central, to make sure, because that stuff has cost us more crime, which means more cops, which means more money. So saving the village is number one, the police department, you know. Also, the village people get to control the zoning and what goes on, you know, what gets built in their own village, you know. That, like I said, I have a great relationship with the town board, but not one of those 5 members lives in the village at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. So they
live in the village. Someone from the village could run for the town board. You know, a lot of them, you know, the supervisor owns a business there, so obviously he has, you know, a vested interest. The same thing with, you know, other people that are there, but it still isn't the same as someone living in there. And so we could get rid of the village, but, you know.
No, my thing is, like, I get the cop thing, you know, and I thought Monticello I thought they reached the threshold of a city. So it would be, you would have city police. You wouldn't have to worry about village police versus county police or town of Thompson police. You would think that, number one, you're not going to get rid of police. You need police. So them saying
our own police. Because
but I mean, it's the city though, right? I mean, it's the city of Monticello.
It's a village. It's a village. The difference in the city would be, you know,
this is what I'm saying. Like, this is,
listen, honestly, I would love to become a city, because you know why? All the sales tax we collect, when you cut someone's hair, when I serve a burger, that sales tax goes to the county.
That's what I'm saying.
And it goes back to the towns. If we were in a city, we would collect half of that sales tax and keep it for the city. All the problems
will go all into the city.
The problem with the city is there's a state fund, and the state pays into a certain amount between all the cities. So now if you add another city in there, that fund is going to get split up. So it's hard to get other legislators who represent those cities who don't want another city, because they're going to lose money, to approve your city. And that's what the problem is. Now,
well, my thing is, the pitch is the crime. Because if the crime rate is up because you have a casino, then it should be, yo, dude,
my pitch is this. I don't need your extra money. If I got sales taxes, you know, I wouldn't need the extra money from the state. So if they could write a law, it would have to be done by a state law to allow us to become a city, and we wouldn't have to get into that fund that they fund, you know, I don't know what it is exactly that they give cities. I'd take it, because we would be in there and still be sitting prettier financially than if we didn't have it. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is,
it takes you know, 60 legislators, or I'm not even sure how, you know, how many state assembly people to do it. Our assemblywoman would say yes, because the city of Middletown, if I said, you know, we're not going to take out of that pot, you're not going to lose nothing, what would they care? But to convince all the other ones throughout the whole state, it'd be a lot harder. So it is something I've discussed and we brought up, and it's another, you know, Michael Banks has brought that up a lot as well. He always thinks that's a good idea, but we're going to try to hopefully fund a study to see what would that entail, what would be the pros and cons, and see if that's the right way to go.
Okay, let me ask you, talking about dealing with the council people and everybody in position, what about the people of the village? How do you get them involved in what's going on outside the people in politics and in position? How is there a plan, a reach out plan to the people that live there, the regular average Joe who lives there? How do you reach out to them?
Because step number one is hopefully, God willing, we get over COVID and you can actually go out and people aren't weary of you knocking on their door and talking. You know, the last 2 years have been quite tough. Some people take it, you know, more serious than others. Other people, you know, it's not a big deal. Some people that show up at the door, they don't want to open their door, you know. So it's like to do community outreach has been tough in this climate. But
so what about, some people don't like opening their doors. So how do you reach out to, the people that are out, right? You have people that out and about. How can you encourage them to, like, tell a friend or family member, or we're having this Zoom meeting? it's very important for you to log on to this Zoom meeting. So if they don't want to come in personally, how do you get, my thing is, how do you still get the word out? Because everybody is not going to the village page. Everybody's not going to your page. You know, everybody's not connected. You have the old person that's been in Monticello all of their life and they don't know anyone. No one's had a conversation with them. How do you reach out to those people?
It's a challenge. It really is. You know, luckily through there's certain like the Monticello seniors, for instance, they meet once a week. So you go there, they'll get the word out to their generational community there and maybe their kids and stuff. But it is really hard to get that word out. You know, you have certain people within the community sort of organizations and NAACP, you know, through the United Way, we do things, but that is a challenge. And even the website, you know, our website is actually really behind. We're actually really behind in social media because we don't have the staff to run that sort of stuff. You know, we've been looking for a developer to do a new website to update that because those are the main ways people use, and we're even behind in those main ways, you know, because just of the funding, we don't have the money to spend on a $30,000 website and hire someone to do our social media and that sort of thing. But hopefully being able to do more events out in the community, we want to do more events like the Bagel Festival. I want to shut Broadway down on the weekend once a month in the summertime in the nice weather. We're going to have a Juneteenth parade this year.
Yeah,
We'd like to the Latino Festival before pandemic was supposed to move also to Broadway because it was getting big. There's been, you know, people approaching me about a hip hop festival. So doing those community events where people come out is a way to start to get words out, but also doing little things in separate communities. Like we've had times where we did something at Sleepy Hollow or you go to Evergreen, you have a barbecue and you reach out to the kids. You know, a lot of these things that we wanted to do or just show up to Evergreen with a basketball. But in the last year, you know, it's been real tough with, you know, between the pandemic and me personally, you know, with just having a baby and some other personal stuff, it's been tough to do. But that's one of the things I'd like to do. I'd like to go out and just play with the kids and play some basketball, show them that the mayor actually has some skills. I like to go out there and play some ball with them and do things that I haven't been able a chance to do. But it is tough. It's hard to reach out. There's a lot of different segments, a lot of different age groups, races, you know, individuals in the village, and some people don't talk to other people. Some, you know, I can go to Evergreen and I'll have a problem, but then there's one person at one apartment who's spreading a rumor about, you know, it gets crazy with the information and what goes on and my salary. It's just nuts, you know. People I used to be friends with don't want to talk to me anymore because they think I'm making $200,000 as the mayor now. Like it's crazy, and getting the real information out there it's not the problem in the village, it's the problem throughout the country and the world right now. And I don't have the answer to that. I'm open to suggestions. Hopefully, getting more people to come to our meetings, to talk on a one-on-one level, and to see what goes on now. Because, you know, we don't have people only come to meetings to complain, which is fine. But you should have people at these meetings with ideas, trying to get their ideas out, trying to tell us what they think we should be doing. Or just to know what's going on. Not just only come when you have something to complain about, you know.
Are the ideas heard?
Yeah, the ideas are heard. I feel like a lot of the ideas come from people in the crowd, you know, because there's only 5 people on the board. You know, you have 7,000-8,000 people in the village. You know, idea can come from anywhere. You know, so it's not like I don't want to say because there's only 5 of us. We got to make everything. You should, you know, a good leader hires the smartest people around them. You know, you don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. You always want to go out and get smarter people around you to help you do your job. And that's what the more people you get, the more information you get, I think is better. And you get more ideas and hopefully find ways to fix some of these problems we're faced with. And
you know what's weird about this whole situation is like, I'm not a resident in the village in Monticello. I've never lived in the I think I did for like 6-7 months, but I've worked there for like 4 years, and I can count how many people from the trustee board have walked into the shop and looked and said, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm such and such. Yo, we having a meeting over here. You know, they got this program going over here." And it's weird because the last time I had Mike Banks on my show, you know, me and him got into it, and I was like, "Yo, Mike, like, you know, the Buddha was running." And that's the only politician that I know that ran for anything that came in. He came in with the whole setup, the flyers, the card, the register to vote. And he's like, "I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever. I just want to get you in there to vote." So I thought that was cool, even though he knew I wasn't voting for him. You know what I'm saying? He already knew.
Cool.
No, and I was trying to relay that to Mike, like, yo, Mike, I've never seen you come in to the shop pitching your get up, what you gonna do for the community, whatever the case may be. Now, Mike, I love Mike. Like, I know him, I went to high school with Mike, you know, so I know Mike, you know, and it's always been other stuff other than what he was doing, and that's no dig on Mike, because I know Mike's heart is in it. But what I'm saying is, how do you expect? Like I said, I worked in the village for 4 years. I don't live there. I lived in another village, but I worked there. And it's like, damn, I don't see none of you guys. You get what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you're right. I ran into you, and I gotta give you kudos. I seen you at a couple marches, a couple of speakings when we were going through, you know, that little time of unrest, you know. So, and
well, you actually met me doing Dose of Kindness. That's what we met.
Not only that, but I met you through a few times. Dose of Kindness. The kids that were cleaning up on Broadway, you were out there with them. Yeah. So But
I used to come in the shop. Listen, but that's my thing. I would come in the shop and get a haircut. For me to come into a place that I wouldn't go into just to pitch political bullshit, I think is wrong.
I mean, but we're in the community. So if you're really true about the community and you care about the people and the business owners, like you say, then it wouldn't be political BS. You get what I'm saying?
But we knew each other beforehand because I was a business owner, and we've talked about other stuff previously with your previous boss. And so he knew who I was. And so, listen, for me to go in there during election time and just bullshit during election time, that's not going to be me. I try to spend my money wherever I can within the village, and I want people to know me because I'm a customer and not because I'm a politician. You know what I mean? And with a haircut and being bald and going to 3 different barbershops alternating, you know, it takes time. Because you've cut my hair, Kenny's cut my hair. I've been up and down from the days Rondell and Dave were there to in Fallsburg. You know what I mean? So, and I'm hoping you went to school with Mike for 1 year in Fallsburg and not Roscoe.
No, I actually went to Liberty. I'm an Indian. Yeah. I was there before he got to you guys over there. Yeah. But no, I say that because
Roscoe jokes on you too.
But, no. But I say that
right.
because
it's something that I would like to do now as things get better and you can actually walk into the stores and you don't have to wear a mask. You can go in and introduce yourself to people. I try to ask people open their stores. A new place opens up. I try to go in there, but to go in there just during election time, it's like going into a church just during election time.
No, I get it. No, I get it, but what I'm saying is, it's like I was there for 4 years. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not telling you that. Like it was only election time. Like I seen, like it was one election. That was it. And it's like, yo, like if you're in there and you're about the people, even if you're thinking about running, you got to have a platform to run on. So what more, especially the village. And here's part 2 to that. Like, I don't get it. Town of Thompson, right, encompasses the village, but they don't have so who do you work for? Are you the mayor of Town of Thompson, or are you the mayor?
Just the village.
So Town of Thompson has their own mayor?
They have
their own supervisor.
But what the hell is this? Like, this is where I'm lost at. Like,
He's pretty much the same position I am, but outside the village in the town. Like, other than collecting taxes, you know, from village residents, the county taxes and the school taxes, like they don't have any control over the village. You know, we control our own roads, we control our own water, our own sewer. All that stuff is, you know, the board is in charge of that stuff. Okay,
now real quick, right? My wife, she's a big fan of yours. She was like, no, yo, listen, he's a good guy. So she said, yo, I was telling her last week that I was, you know, interviewing you, and she was like, yo, I have a question. So this is my wife's question. All right? Shout out to my wife. She's watching too.
Shout out to Lindy.
The beautiful Lindy. She said, what is the benefit of you being the mayor?
Okay. Couple of things. I think I have fresh ideas, and I don't know if it's because of my upbringing, you know, in a diner working from 12 years old. So I know how a business works, and I know how you can cut costs. You know, I was in a lot of debt at that place as well. You know, when me and my brother took over, we found ways to not only cut costs, but to bring more money in. So my business background is one reason, because I understand how the numbers work. And I understand if your expenses are growing at this rate and your profits only growing at this rate, you know, eventually you're going to be screwed. You don't have to be an accountant to know you're not going to make it. I want to say I'm not well traveled, but I've seen some stuff in the world, and I feel like living out of the country is and I lived in a place like Dubai, which you would think is like some crazy, but just the freedoms that we have here, it kind of makes you respect our political system and want to stay involved and make sure that we still have these rights to, because, you know, things in this country aren't the greatest. You know, we're a democracy and all, but there's a lot of stuff, you know, with campaign financing and how things run in corporations or people and stuff like that, you know, we're losing, I think, our democracy here every day. So bringing that understanding of how I think behind the scenes, seeing things work is one of the things I can help with. But at the same time, I'm 40 years old. I just bought a house here. I have a business here. I'm invested in the area. I just had a kid. He's going to be in the school system. You know, I have an interest to make sure that this place is a place where I want to raise my child, where my friends are going to want to come visit me, where there's going to be jobs for my friends to come back who I graduated with, who can't come back to this area. You know, I think I'm invested in the area. You know, some of the people that are on the board or running, that sort of thing, you know, when you don't have kids, I think that's important that you don't. I could have said all this stuff. I had nieces and nephews. I raised them. The second I had my own kid, life changed. My priorities changed.
Absolutely.
Everything changed. The way I look at things changed. The way I look at playgrounds changed. Like everything changed. So just right there, you know, growing up in this community, I left a community in Brooklyn that I was not diverse. Was the neighborhood moved out because Black families moved in, and we were there for like 3 years. And where's everybody? Everyone moved out in 3 years. So I came here, went to a school. Fallsburg was extremely diverse. I was accepted by these kids here. You know, I had an accent when I first came here. English wasn't my first language. My parents, you know, are immigrants, and the area accepted me. And I just feel like this is home. I want to stay here. I want to see the place get better for my kids, for your kids, and your kids. And I mean, and their kids. And it's just, I think I'm here because I think my heart's in the right place. I'm not making money doing this. I'm losing money doing this, but I think in the long run, it'll be beneficial to me financially and spiritually and everything. And I want the best for this next generation here. I want this place, you know, when you look, and it's only happened in the last few years, but, you know, you watch the news, Channel 4, Channel 2, 7, 11, Monticello's on that map now. We weren't before. Before, only time we made the national news, it was for bad things. You know, we have people who want to move to this area, who want to bring their families here, and I think we have to make it as best, because bringing more people here is gonna help the people that are here already by expanding the tax bases, by bringing more money into the schools, and bringing in different ideas. Because, you know, we had a lot of the same old people here, same old good old boy system, same old stuff. You need new people, you need fresh blood, you need fresh ideas, and I think I bring a lot of that stuff here.
Good answer. No, it's a good answer. He's been watching my interviews.
Yeah, it was a good answer.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing.
Listen, there's no pressure. I got 2.5 something years left on my. I'm not running for anything, so it's easy to just tell the truth and just go forward. You know, I don't have to bullshit nobody. You know, I don't take money when I run because I don't have to owe nobody. You know, I take money from my friends who don't live in the area, who their main priority is to get them some jobs to come back into the area. So I don't think anyone's worried about, you know, who my loyalties are too. You know, I don't take money from developers here. I don't.
Gotcha.
I want to see things.
So you don't owe anybody. You're not in anybody's pocket, basically.
No, I owe plenty of people in this community, you know, but
like all the favors.
Not politically, you know, I owe them for mentorship. I owe them for just people supporting my family in their business and allowing my parents to succeed after, you know, 25 years of being in debt and finally, you know, now seeing the night of day where, you know, you actually can turn a profit and cut a paycheck for yourself. You know, I know what that's like, and I know how hard it is to open a business here on Broadway, where it's like, you know, you got 4 months to make money, and the other 8 months you're digging to survive. So I've seen that happen, and I see that our businesses are being a little more successful longer. It's no longer, you know, it's 8 months out of the year that you're not making money. Now it's only 4 months out of the year that, you know, the dead of the winter that you're not making money, and these people are able to go out, expand their businesses, give people better jobs, you know, make more jobs, new businesses, and that's how it works. You know, money has to go back into the economy, has to be spread, you know, and that's how you do it.
Thank you for bringing it back to the people, because I was going to say, that's what I was trying to say. Y'all two was having your conversation. I was trying to say, you know, even though it's a business, what you running the government is a business. It's a business, but bringing it back to the people, because it seems like in a lot of all of this craziness that's going on, the actual people are being forgotten. The regular everyday people that are out there doing the jobs, working, trying to making your village actually work. You
The
know, like
working families, the working families of America. It's not just here in the village; it's everywhere.
Right, everywhere. But
where
now,
50 years ago, you had a two-parent household, one person worked, and it was enough. Now you have two people working, and you can't make your bills. So it's been harder for everybody over the years, and it's unfortunately not just here, but
it's
here
all
locally
over.
is where we can put our biggest change in. Your local officials make the biggest change in your life, other than the national, the president. The biggest change that you can make in your life is through your local elections.
Yes.
And so the more people that are involved, the more ideas that get out there, the more people that I gotta know what people want. Also, it's hard for me. I can go out. I know 2,000 people in the village, but what about the other two? You know what I mean? Like, so it's hard to get hold of what everyone wants, but
Right.
I think starting with the youth is the way to go. Because when you get connected to the youth and you get connected to their parents, when you're doing stuff with the kids, and the older people can see that you're genuine. You're not just doing this for elections. You're not doing this for money or notoriety, or people go out there and do charity work and post it all over their Facebook. Like, it's you got to do it for the right thing. You got to do it because you have the right motive at heart to do it, and not just because you want to get some likes on Instagram or whatever it is.
Yeah, get your views up. Yo, real quick, there was never a thought of like, does the supervisor of town of Thompson, and Mayor of Monticello, your election years are the same?
No, I think because the supervisor has an election every 2 years, I believe.
Because that's what we need. We need to get a team. No, what we need to do is get a mayor who has a team or whoever the supervisor is to link with the mayor. Because until you get a two-part a team doing both, you're gonna get screwed.
Well, listen, I have a good relationship with all 5 members on that board, and even like the 3 or 4 members that were on the board previous, the 6 years that I've been involved in politics. They still have a priority that's going to be, their budget, their things. I will say for years, like I said, they would do things to hurt the village. These guys are not. They've been helping. By law, they can only do so much. They can't just hand us over money and say, here's your budget. But they can do things to, grant administration is, on a grant for $250,000, $50,000 spent on the grant administrator. They're doing that stuff for free right now. They're actually giving us money towards the park. We are working on some deals to build some sewer pump stations together instead of both of us having to spend the money individually. Down by the racetrack, we have a pump station. They have one right down the road. We're going to combine it, save money that way for both people, both constituencies. But
I'm going to do some research on this because they're punking the village. I'm just putting dude, they're Debo in the village, and it's like, dude, who needs a supervisor of town and Thompson? Like, this doesn't make any sense, because if you take away the cops that patrol that, and the village, the county police that is in the village, like, it's like, really, dude? Like, I'm pretty sure the 5 members are getting a nice little, like, they're doing a job, but their job is well paid for too. So to me, it's like, if you're about the area and improving the area, Monticello, Town of Thompson is only but so big. Together, it shouldn't be this much of a rift.
The thing about it is not Monticello's not the only one that has that going on. Fallsburg does also. You have the town of Fallsburg and the village of Woodridge. Now, the village of, so it's like, it
seems like it's a money grab. Like, we're going to make a village of a village.
Some people are going to say you don't need the village, why have them? But it comes back down to the police department. Like, there's no town police department, and then to say we're going to make make the village police department to a town police department, some guy in Rock Hill or some guy in Harris says, I've never used them in my life. I don't need them. Why am I going to pay the extra taxes now for the police department? So it is a tough thing. We have worked on talking to our state legislators. We would also need a state law to do this, is make a police district where we take the village police department and expand it down all the way to the casino to cover Home Depot, Walmart, all that business district, where that area, those people would have to pay into the police department. But
they're working on it. They getting there. Let the crime rate keep going. They gonna have no choice but to do it. I mean,
well,
by the end of
eventually, you're right. But again, that has to happen by a state law to create a police jurisdiction. So it's tricky. That stuff's been thrown out there. Our previous state senator Jen Metzger had listened about it. Was open to discussing the ideas, but like you said, you need people on the town board to be open too, and it's hard for them to try to sell that to their constituents. How are you going to get? The village has been showing up to the mountain, Thompson Square Mall when there's an emergency, right? Because these guys are never going to let someone else get hurt because they're next door and out of their jurisdiction. They're going to, our cops, they have hearts, they have morals. They're going to run down there and help.
They're always over there. What are you talking about? They're
exactly.
Always
so how do I
there.
tell a guy you got to pay more money now for the cops when the cops are already coming? And how do they tell that to the people who are voting for them? So it's tricky. It's tough. In a perfect world, Rashad, that would be exactly what we needed.
Guys,
and maybe one day,
listen, y'all can continue this conversation.
Oh no! I was just curious.
We're at
He's saying some stuff I can't say out loud. I like it. I appreciate it.
I'm sure both of y'all thinking some things that you can't say. But before I let you go, because it's after 8, is there anything you would like to say? Because I just want to see you. Thank you.
Listen, I want as many people who can come out and vote. Your vote does count because this is a very, very important election. I saw your interview, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, and Rashad was saying how it is 3 people, that you need 3 people to move your agenda forward. And that's how it works, unfortunately, and that's how, the majority of boards work, majority rules, and that's how it is. So I would ask people, I know over the year and a half, it's been, there hasn't been much out there to show you the improvements that are going on. Unfortunately, things are moving slow, but you'll see this summer with the improvements at the park. You see the buildings popping up on West Broadway now, the new townhouses on West Broadway. There's a lot of excitement in the village. There's developers coming in for the first time that are actually putting money into this village, spending, I'm talking about millions upon millions of dollars. We're looking at $40 million in investment that people have in front of our planning board right now and more. I mean, approved right now, and there's more coming. The only way we're going to save the village, to save the police department, to be able to put money back into the parks and put in these youth programs. And, these youth programs are starting soon. And if you think I'm doing a decent job, or you want to see me give me a little more time to extend, my plan for the village, I would appreciate people to vote for Mike Greco and Charlie Sabatino for me to be able to get my vision going forward, to continue the work that we've been doing, and to see them to completion, to get the things that we want done at the park, to have an area for the kids to go to inside and outside year round, to have, Broadway back bustling a little bit, to get some of these buildings back going well on Broadway. And so that's all I'd ask for people. But more importantly, just go out and vote.
And when is election?
Write your own name in, write Rashad's name in. Just go out and vote.
Don't write my name in because I might show up to work.
The important thing is to get out there.
And that is
election is from next Tuesday from 9 to 9 at the Ted Strobel Center.
Yep. Thank you for coming on. I love your ideas
me.
and your plans. I love them. I think they're really good.
Well,
and like we talked about, you really just started. You're not going to get one thing done in one term. You're not when there's stuff.
Well, I hope to get a lot done in one term, not in a year and a half or 2 years, but yes, by the end of my term.
Yeah, term your 4 years. Yeah, hopefully you'll get a lot done. But
running for office or running away, I want to make sure that I got a couple of these things done, and I kind of need the people to come out and vote and help me get my agenda, continue to go forward to get these things done that we're working on now.
And we'll be watching. We'll be watching.
Thank you. And hopefully, we have the new pavilion. We'll have a party this summer. We'll get people out, open up the new stuff at the park with the new pavilion, and hopefully get some stuff going on Broadway, close down, get some people out, and get some of these people some people out there.
Sounds good. So
absolutely.
Yes. So Rashad, anything you want to say before because we're already 8:05 before?
Oh no, I'm good. Listen, I thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor, for joining us this evening and letting us ask you these questions. A lot of people, I won't say a lot of people shy away from it, but I try to represent the guys. The guys that really want to, if I had an opportunity, this is what I want to ask. you know, and you know, so and thank you for answering, you know, and you know, we look forward. I look forward to seeing the progress. You
Yeah.
know, you got a nice little. It's a nice time for things to get. Things can only get better. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So
And listen,
so now you can take off. Like you can hit it, or you can just ride the get better wave. You know, so you know that's what we waiting to see. You
so
know?
the village didn't get to this point overnight, so it ain't gonna fix overnight either. But
Right.
Absolutely.
if we could do it in a quarter of the time that it took to get there, we'll be doing well.
Nice, nice.
All right.
Bunky, thank you for everything.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be asking questions.
Listen, I'll come back anytime you want me to. This is great because it's a good way for me to get things out there too. You know, it's like
It is.
I can't go out there and just post whatever I want on the Facebook page. You got to have approvals by the board. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff is also confidential. You know,
Right.
we have a fitness court coming up. Besides the look that up, a fitness court coming up behind the Strobel Center actually this year too. Forgot to mention that earlier. Outdoor gym for people to work out in. To help
We gonna see.
Comes.
That's all we gonna do. We gonna see.
So what?
That's it. We gonna see. You
You're gonna
know,
see.
but they heard it. They heard it first here. So if you don't,
Yes.
That's it.
yo, listen.
Absolutely,
if you don't do it, best believe this is
At the
this
same
ain't
time-
deleting. This ain't
At the
deleting.
same time, people also know by me putting this stuff out there that if it doesn't get done, that it was because
Nah.
Someone came in.
Yo, listen.
You're
You
the
gotta
mayor.
understand the people don't want to hear that.
Mayor's
They
one
gonna
to
run this
five,
back.
remember.
They gonna run this back and be like, "This is what he said to us."
Yeah, you know they're
And
not
this
gonna
is
hear the rest. They're
correct.
You're the
Like I
face.
said,
All they
if
see.
the people also ran it back and said I need 3 votes to move my things forward, because if shit goes the other direction, you know, I can't control what other people do. So
Gotcha.
But hopefully,
Thanks so much.
either way, they'll put the people first. Either way, they'll put the
Exactly.
village people first, and that's what it's about. So
That's what it is.
we're going to end this session. I mean, if you want to wait a minute, George, and Rashad, thank you all for watching this session of Political Tea Time with Bunky with the Mayor of Monticello, and I apologize wholeheartedly for spelling your name wrong. I thought I'm always
sounds the same way, right?
so, and you can everybody knows about Miss Monticello Diner, like the food is banging. So if you want to go there, you guys support him, and also remember what I had mentioned earlier about J&J Deli Grocery. Go get your sandwiches and the pamper giveaway thing. So you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you.
You too.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Take care, guys.